Hello everybody and welcome to the first official race of the MSCA American Ethanol Truck Series here in 2019. Texas World is our first stop on the schedule. However, I think you guys know what might be coming up. If you want some awesome freaking merch from the MSCA, we have some shirt store that you can go to, and this has some sexy logo shirt that you can get with the MSCA logo on it. If you want, you can get the shirt of the God King Jason Krenz in the number 25, or you can get Tib Foster Motorsports, Mitchell Henderson, the GOAT shirt, Eric Monaco, or even a shirt from Andrew Gorman. New shirts will be added every single race for the winter. And just go to that link, it'll be in the description below. But going into the starting lineup, Cesar Chavez in the 21, pulling on that win from Duel 1 and Richard Fridge to his outside. Row 2, Josh Joyner Jr. and Stephen Thompson. Row 3, Stuart Gratton and Bob Schwepke. Row 4, Isaac Nichols, done really good on these 2 milers, and Jake Rogers, his team owner. Nathan Hallman in row 5 inside, Kenny Washington his outside. Nathan Lukac, a rookie in this series, but a current Pennzoil Pro Series driver, and Jason Kranz. Kev Shearer and current and defending champion Mitchell Henderson. Tanya Breyer, Gatlin Downey, row 8. Row 9 is the 4 of Mitchell Carter and Rick Witt on his outside. And finally, in the 98, Tristan Allen had a nasty wreck here last year, and Zachary Fitzwater in the 76 make up the 20th position, and that's your top 10 rows. Jonathan King, Aiden Valdez in the 57, row 11. Row 12, new driver Arian Azad, ran the Copperhead Series last year. And Alexander Rowe, hoping to get his first win in this series. Daniel Bouchard in the 37, and Colin Denton not doing too well in their duels. Scott Roush and Bill Cox in the 22 in row 14. Row 15, Zachary Fitzgerald and Eddie Jones. Steve Hickman in the 64, and Ryan Kendall to his outside. Jack Porkins in the 07, finally sponsorship on that truck, and Ben Crouch in the outside in the 03, running that only team's truck. And finally, in the final row is the 44 of Alex Tanker and the 80 of Derek Yarworth. And that is going to make up the 36 trucks that will be running here at Texas World Speedway as the pace truck pulls off. Cesar Chavez leading them down to the green flag. Here we go, racing in the MSCA in 2019. And Chavez pulling out to a decent lead at the start. Meanwhile, he's got Josh Joyner Jr. to the bottom of Richard Fridge. Fridge came up out of nowhere pretty much to win the race, to win the second dual race. However, Josh Joyner Jr. wasting no time to get that Rogers Racing Menards truck up to the lead. He's got his teammate there, Isaac Nichols, a little bit too far back to give him much help. However, there's 3 or 4 Toyotas on the bottom side with Jake Rogers in that 08 truck looking to help his team get up to the front. Josh Joyner Jr. still battling for the lead. He has not cleared the 21 of Chavez yet, but now he's got Isaac Nichols right on his back bumper. Nichols has been very good on these kinds of tracks. We saw at Michigan, he pretty much dominated that race, and now he's going to look to the inside of his teammate. I don't know if he's going to be able to get there. Yes, he keeps his foot in it, and he's able to hold that spot on the inside lane as they're 3 wide, almost 4 wide back in the fray. Kev Shearer in the 50, running for Revolution Racing, the 3rd truck that was supposed to be for that team, but they couldn't find a driver for it, so they just dropped the team entirely. Ended up winning the championship anyways with Mitchell Henderson, who was kind of mired back there, I think back in the mid-pack. Meanwhile, Isaac Nichols leading this one here in lap 3. The 13 truck obviously has been set up real well, and Isaac Nichols has really had some decent runs, narrowly missing the win at Michigan, being taken by Eric Monaco in the 36 truck just by a narrow margin. We continue to watch here. Isaac Nichols continuing to lead. He's got a pretty decent lead now, but he's going to end up getting caught back up as this track is very draft heavy. And as you can see, the 50 truck right on his back bumper again. Going back up to lap 7, though, you can see now his teammate Tristan Allen to his back bumper. Bob Schwepke, you may have You may wonder, how the hell did he get sponsorship and now he's running up at the front? Well, he's not even running for his own team anymore like he did last year. Now he's running for DW Motorsports, which is a Pennzoil Pro Series team. Not doing too great, but running midfield, and probably the only top Ford team in the Pennzoil Series right now. But DW Motorsports has had a pretty good operation in the lower tier series, such as the Truck Series, and even in the Copperhead Series with Colin Denton in the 19 running for them in that series. But Kev Shearer making a good run, but now you can see Jason Kranz. He's wanted this race for so long, has just been missed out on it for pretty much every single race that he's tried here. Has not been able to get that 25 truck to victory lane here at Texas World, and that's been one of his biggest, he's even said that's been one of his biggest disappointments, that he's never gone to victory lane here at this track. You can see Tanya Breyer, though, to his inside, trying to make a move. She's got Scott Roush in the 28 pushing her. Oh, caution! Looks like they're spinning down the racetrack in the back. We're going to stay on the race, though, for the caution flag. As Kev Shearer getting to the line, hopefully, but Jason Kranz trying the inside. Kev Shearer, though, barely edges him out, and he will take the caution flag. As we're going to ride on board with Rick Witt. He was involved. We didn't get to see what exactly happened, but the reports of what happened say that he was involved, and there it is. He gets involved in there. Oh! And rolling it, too! We did not see that. And Rick Witt, just one roll, but that can do a lot to your truck to really take it out of the race. As you can see there, they were just 4 wide. Isaac Nichols got the worst of that one. A few other drivers taking damage, but then there's Rick Witt rolling back up the racetrack. It looks like he got contact from the 59 of Eddie and Jones. As we come back to the green flag, Kev Shearer, no pit stops were made except for the drivers that were involved in the wreck, as Kev Shearer will bring him back to the green. Jason Kranz right on his back bumper, and also Tanya Breyer in the 38. Those three have pulled away pretty heavily off of Steve Hickman, running in 4th right now, and Tanya Breyer looking to the inside. She might get past 2 of them in 1 lap, but she needs some help. And that looks like that's where the 64 is going to come in. Steve Hickman running very well right now in that 64 Eagle 1 Chevrolet. Not going to help Tanya Breyer, though, as he dives down low on the front stretch. He's got a little bit of momentum from the draft, and it's a drag race to see who leads the lap. Steve Hickman will take the lead. And that's 1 more bonus point for Steve Hickman, but now they're both up high, as Tristan Allen taking that bottom side away. Tristan Allen, right behind him is the 21 of Cesar Chavez, and then behind Cesar Chavez is the 28 of Scott Roush. He has been one of the big stories in the Copperhead Series, being one of the drivers who finished almost, I believe he would have finished higher than some of the full-time drivers had he been running full-time for points in the series. Cesar Chavez now fighting with Kenny Washington. Finally, Kenny Washington's made himself known up at the front of the field. He finished 2nd at this race last year to his teammate, who was driving the 4 truck of Russ Kamofsky. Kamofsky no longer running, as that truck was taken over by the 4 of Mitchell Carter. So Kenny Washington running right now, the highest weight Enterprises truck right now. Nicholas Wade actually runs for Rogers Racing in the Casey Sportsman Series, so we'll see him in the 32 car in the next race here at Texas World. Meanwhile, Kenny Washington to the inside of Tristan Allen. Those two are fighting. It looks like another spin, and they're going to try to catch it. You can hear the smoke. You can hear the car spinning, and it's Jake Rogers in the 08. Doesn't look like much else happened though, as they're going to race back to the line. Kenny Washington takes the lead, and takes the caution flag here on lap number 18, almost towards halfway, so we will most likely be seeing pit stops coming up under this caution period. So we're going to take it on board with Jake Rogers and just kind of see what happened. It looked like they might have gotten again into a full wide situation. Someone might have drifted up, and Jake Rogers ends up taking a little spin down the backstretch, but catches it and somehow does not get any more trucks involved. So that's a great job by Rogers to keep that thing from getting any more trucks involved into that wreck. Tanya Breyer was able to get out of pit lane first, however, and she will be the one to lead them down to the stripe. So the 38 taking the green flag this time. Kenny Washington right on that back bumper of the 38. Cesar Chavez might try to step out here in turn 1. And it looks like he went with the 90 truck. I think he was waiting for Washington to step out to the bottom side. And behind him as well, his teammate Bob Schwepka in the 334. Those two Ford Raptors running 1-2. Technically 3 and 4, but running right behind each other. As Schwepka now going to take the inside lane from Cesar Chavez. He'll be a team player sometimes, but not all the time. And that's one of the things with Schwepka, is that he's never really lasted too much in a team because he never really played as a team player except for when it benefited him the most. And that's really what we're seeing right now, as that 334 truck is wicked fast with the 25 of Jason Kranz right on his back bumper. Kranz in the 25 right on the back bumper. You can see Richard Fridge trying to make himself known, but then he's got to let off the gas a little bit in turn 3, or else he might cause an incident there on the bottom with a 3 wide situation. Schwepka will lead that lap, and Jason Kranz, though, on the bottom side. He's got Alexander Rowe. Those two were kind of rivals, as you can say. A lot of the front of the field kind of raced each other for the most part last season for the front of the point standings. Alexander Rowe, Jason Kranz, Mitchell Henderson, Al Lagasse, who was replaced by Richard Fridge in the 3. As you can continue to see Jason Kranz running really quick now, holding the lead on the outside, able to use kind of the side draft, get a little bit of the air off the side of that 16 truck. As we're almost going 4 wide back for, I believe, 4th position. Tanya Breyer really looking strong here after the 68 of Rick Witt got knocked out of the race in that early caution. Could have possibly just almost seen another one there, but Alexander Rowe able to stay clear of the 38 and not get turned. As there is a drag race down to the front of the field, Alexander Rowe leads lap number 26. As we are continuing to watch a big fight between a lot of good race cars. Tanya Breyer now pushing the 16 with the 61 of Arian Azad, a new driver for that 61 team. I believe a new team for that team. Actually, no, that truck was driven by Dave Kennedy last season. No longer running in this series. As we look back, the 15 of Zachary Fitzgerald looking at the 4 wide situation, just kind of getting a picture of what it looks like in the mid-pack right now. As you can see, the 64 to his outside, that's his teammate. And, oh, contact between the trucks, but they keep it steady. 15 bounces off the 64 again, gets back up clear. Oh, Jonathan King spinning them. A huge wreck here in turns 3 and 4, and oh, more cars piling in. 2 Rogers Racing trucks, Josh Joyner Jr. and Tristan Allen. Tristan Allen was hoping he could finish this one, and more wrecking as Ryan Kendall gets involved, and even more trucks spinning. That's the 4 of Mitchell Carter and the 55 of Stephen Thompson. So a huge wreck here in turns 1 and 2, or in turns 3 and 4. As we're going to watch from the view of the 88, and you can see the 15, he gets on the track fine and he doesn't cause any issues, but then when Jonathan King joins in, that's when things get really hectic. We're going to watch the view of the 4, see what happened there. He just tried to run the apron, just didn't, he just kind of clipped the 44 of Alex Tankard. Oh, what the heck happened there? As the 55 of Stephen Thompson, we're going to ride on board with him, see what happened there. As he's going through the smoke, he should have been slowing a lot more down and just plows into the 4 of Mitchell Carter. I don't know what the heck was going on there, but a momentary lapse of concentration there for the 55. We're going to have to look at that a little bit more. The officials are going to review that and see what happened. See if they can maybe penalize the 55 for that, because that was a dangerous situation. As we get back green, Bob Schwepke was able to get the lead coming to the caution flag, but Arian Azad, you can see Zachary Fitzwater, those Farfham Motorsports trucks have come on strong in the later stages of this one. Arian Azad in the 61 moving up into the lead, but he's also got Cesar Chavez right behind him. Chavez not a teammate, so he's going to try and dive down low. And I think even the 16 of Alexander Rowe isn't even going to go with the 61 of Azad. The only truck we don't see up here is the 6 of Nathan Lukac. I believe he might have been involved in one of the cautions, or either that or he's just not been running too well, as he's kind of mired back in the field. You can see him at the very back here. 3 of those Farfam Motorsports trucks looking up at the front. Alexander Rowe hoping to get his first win in the American Ethanol Truck Series, but look at the man in that 25 truck. He is determined to get this win as we are coming down to take 4 to go. Lap number 37 out of 40. And Jason Kranz in the number 25. To the inside lane, he's got a big run, but he's also got some help from behind. Not as much as the 16 is getting. And that's why the 16 is able to stay on that outside lane and stay pretty much right on the back bumper of the 25. Coming into turn 3. Now the 76 moves the 21 up 3 wide. And that'll really hurt his teammate of Alexander Rowe, as Zachary Fitzwater making some very aggressive moves to try and get up to the lead. 3 more to go as we continue on. Jason Kranz finally clearing Alexander Rowe, and here comes Zachary Fitzwater in the 76. Fitzwater to the inside of Alexander Rowe. He's got help from behind. He's got the 90 truck of Kenny Washington on his back bumper. Washington's been a pretty good pusher. You can also see the 07 and the 334. Those are 2 trucks that are running side by side. Jack Porkins finally coming into the picture, and so is Colin Denton. So a few of those trucks that started at the very back of the field now coming on strong in the late stages of this race with 2 to go. Jason Kranz in the 25 still holding the lead. Zachary Fitzwater in the 76 now being pushed by the 07 of Jack Porkins. Kranz needs to figure out where he can block. Right now he's blocking the 16 of Rowe, because that's the first immediate threat. He goes down to block the run from the 76 of Fitzwater. He's not able to block coming out of the corner, though. As we can see, lap traffic, Gatlin Downey's slow. Kranz is able to get by him. White flag this time. Jonathan King, another lap car. Oh! Jason Kranz slides off the side of Jonathan King. Fitzwater comes back up the racetrack, slams into the side of the 25. Jack Porkins with the run on the inside. He was in the catbird position for that. Kenny Washington, though, can he make a move and try to step out? Tanya Breyer to the inside of Washington. It's going to ruin his run. And it's going to be a race for second as Jack Porkins somehow manages to take the win here in the College Station 160 at Texas World. What a wild last lap as we saw the 76 and the 25 get into it in turn 1, which let Jack Porkins take the lead, and we're going to watch this from Jason Kranz on board. As you can see, he sees where the lap traffic is. He just wants to get the draft off of him, get right behind him. And you can see Jonathan King. I think he might have just misjudged it, and there it is. He slides off of Jonathan King, moves the 76 down into the apron. Fitzwater slides back up and door slams the 25, which loses both of them momentum. And there you can see Jack Porkins with Kenny Washington right on his back bumper. I think Washington was looking to try and make a move, but then he heard the call that Tanya Breyer was to his inside, so he had to move all the way up the racetrack. and that allowed Jack Porkins to take the victory, his first win. And what a wild story that is. He was unsponsored most of the season last year, didn't even make all the races, but now he's in victory lane. That Allied Dodge Dakota of Jack Porkins doing his burnouts on the front stretch. And that was a wild finish. Kenny Washington taking second, Tanya Breyer almost taking third. Nathan Lukac, we were talking about how far back he was compared to his teammates. He finishes fourth. Richard Fridge in fifth. Yarworth doing a good job in sixth, starting from the very last position. Schwebke, Bill Cox, seventh and eighth. Ninth is Zachary Fitzwater after he almost could have taken the win there, and Daniel Bouchard finishes in the top 10. Kranz getting almost screwed out of that victory there by Fitzwater, finishes 11th. Ben Crouch, a good position, a good run for him in 12th. 13th is Scott Roush. 14th, Alexander Rowe fell off at the very end. Mitchell Henderson, 15th. He was kind of in the mid-pack all day. Arian Azad, Jake Rogers, Colin Denton. I believe that was the 47 of Stuart Grattan. Kev Shearer, Cesar Chavez. Cesar Chavez and Kev Shearer were both running up at the front all day, but then they ended up falling off at the very end. Halman, I believe, was involved in that first wreck, as well as Isaac Nichols and Eddie Ian Jones. Jones even didn't have a hood on. Gatlin Downey and Jonathan King ended up getting lapped in the last that last lap there, as you saw. And Gatlin Downey actually caused a lot of issues moving the field around due to how slow he was when they caught him. So the drivers who did not finish were Zachary Fitzgerald, obviously Ryan Kendall, and Steve Hickman were involved in a pretty heavy wreck. As we come to the point standings, Jack Porkins with that win. Obviously, it shoots him up to the very top of the points board with 62 points. The winner gets 60 points as opposed to Kenny Washington, who would have gotten 35 at the start, but he led a lap. So did Tanya Breyer, third. Fourth, Nathan Lukac, and it's pretty much the same as how they started, although Jason Kranz in 10th as he led a lap compared to his teammate in the 37 who did not. I believe they are tied, but he does have the advantage for being the one guy that did get the bonus point. Ben Crouch 13th, Scott Roush 14th, Alexander Rowe Ben Crouch 12th, Scott Roush 13th, Alexander Rowe 14th, 15th, Mitchell Henderson, Colin Denton, Stuart Grattan, Kev Shearer. Aiden Valdez finished in 20th, but ends up getting 19th in points as they're still tied. They're technically all tied at 18th in points right now, and Cesar Chavez in 20th. And the cut line, Ryan Kendall, Josh Joyner Jr., Alex Tanker, Tristan Allen, all at the bottom of the cut line, including whoever finished behind them. And surprising to see two drivers who did not finish the race. A lot of drivers got knocked out in this one, enough that in that second caution, whoever was highest in the driver standings after the race, Zachary Fitzgerald and Steve Hickman, are safe and will be locked into the next race. As that's going to do it here. A wild finish here at Texas World for the MSCA American Ethanol Truck Series. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you back here at Texas World for the KC Sportsman Series.